Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright, guys, on this episode of the Bullet Points, I have got to dive into an article from the New York Times to show you one of the most egregious uses of stretching to support gun control that I've seen in a while. For example, a political assassination in Japan, a mass situation across the streets of America, all of which occur in ultimate gun control zones. Those are not examples of abject failure of gun control. No, sir. That's actually proving how well it works. I can't make this up. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to hear from you guys on this one. And we are always looking to earn that subscription if you're new. So if you would give that consideration, we'd love to have you in the fold to march forward our Second Amendment rights together. But enough of that. Let's dive into this, stretching to be polite. All right, so check this out. The New York Times is on the case. Does the Abe shooting reflect success of Japanese gun laws, not failure? I know. A crude weapon, minimal security, one death. A closer look at the details of the assassination of Shinzo Abe may actually underscore the effectiveness of Japan's restrictions. I know how much this failed, but this could actually show how much it works. What? Let's continue, because this is a stretch by a long shot. Now, this came out July 9th. This is a recent article. The assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Japan may look like a rebuke of the country's famously stringent gun laws. Yeah, does it? Yeah, let's keep going. But there is another view. See, look, there's another option. That the shooting is a reminder of, and maybe even underscores, those restriction successes. An assassination proves gun control works? Tell me more, pray tell. All right, let's dive in. Listen to what the New York Times is positing as a logical rationale. Experts who research gun laws stress that even the most stringent measures cannot totally erase the human capacity for violence. Rather, restrictions, if successful, can reduce both the severity of that violence as well as impose hurdles that make it less frequent. So the idea is now shifting. There goes that flag post again. The goalpost has moved yet again. It's no longer about ending the epidemic of gun violence. Now it's about reducing it because it's impossible to stop. Which is interesting because the point from the gun rights advocate for years has been crime cannot be stopped by legislation. Because if you're going to be a criminal and perpetrate a violent, heinous crime, you're not going to go, oh man, I was going to do that, but that law is telling me I can't. No, criminals are going to criminal. But let's keep going because I want to hear how a successful assassination really underscores how gun control works. The shooter apparently used a crude homemade weapon made with electrical tape and metal tubes. Such weapons, known as zip guns or pipe guns, can be assembled with materials from most hardware stores, making them functionally impossible to track or prevent. Interesting. Functionally impossible to track or prevent in the nation that is known for its famously stringent gun laws. This goes back to what we've been talking about, legislating ghost guns and writing executive actions from the Biden administration. What are you going to do? You're going to say an unfinished block of metal is going to become a firearm? Is a pipe potentially going to become a firearm? It goes back to the fact you can't outlaw everything because criminals are going to criminal. But successful gun laws, that's working, right? Let's keep going. If the shooter's ability to build and use such a device shows that gun restrictions cannot completely eliminate violence from a society, then it also demonstrates that such measures tend to make that violence rarer and less deadly. So you see what just happened? It just moved from eliminated completely to, well, it's less common. Keep in mind, the things that are required to get it to become less common are all the rights of an entire population. Again, a minority fraction of the population is creating crime, but they want to discriminate against the entire population and infringe upon those rights in order for a reduction. See how it's changed from elimination to reduction as we go forward. Let's keep going. Now, he goes on in this article and says, references the existing mass situations that we've had in our country. Here we go. All those shooters had acquired their guns legally. These were just some of the 300 plus mass situations in the United States this year, according to one count. Now, they're talking to the Gun Violence Archive. Gun Violence Archive basically counts anything where a crime was involved, drugs were involved, any type of situation, drive-bys, all crime-related, that goes in a mass shooting category. But I digress. The first sentence here, all those shooters that acquired their guns legally, again, Illinois, New York, gun control zones, red flag laws, universal background checks, all of the goodies. But again, they didn't work. You stack that in with a successful attempt of Abe in Japan, it seems like you're building a case against gun control and its increasing failures. But that's not the case, because clearly, don't let your lying eyes deceive you. Gun control works. This is just proof of it. As a result, a would-be gunman in Japan is all but forced to resort to the unusual and difficult methods, such as constructing a homemade weapon like the one apparently used to kill Mr. Abe. What's the point? The point is, criminals are going to criminal. They found a way around existing gun laws, and they then eliminated a former prime minister. This is a protected person. This is a leader. This is a dignitary. This is not someone on the street. So imagine if you had no security and that someone had this type of desire. The idea would be similar around bombs and other improvised devices. You cannot legislate morality. But it doesn't matter, because you can't have gun control fail. You got to prove how a failure is obviously a win. These are substantial obstacles compared with the ease of walking into a gun store and purchasing a weapon that will reliably fire off many rounds and not detonate in the shooter's hands. This may be one of the reasons that shootings are exceedingly rare in Japan. The country experiences fewer than 10 gun deaths nationwide in most years, compared to tens of thousands in the US. Now again, Gun Violence Archive, if you strip out the numbers that should not be in that number, right, so 50,000, 48,000 people in a year, well, 2/3 of those are suicides. So let's back that down to around 11,000 to 13,000, which is still a dramatic amount of people. But you also count the fact that those are all crime-driven statistics, most of which are with handguns. And you get into a little bit different of a sticky situation, and their point kind of falls apart. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. Do you agree with the New York Times? Did the abject failure of gun control all of a sudden tell you that gun control is actually working? Or is this the biggest stretch in the world to defend a hyper-partisan position? I look forward to your thoughts, and I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. segment. I'm Braden. See you later.